name is Chelsea from Pages of Chelsea, and let's do part two of what I've been reading, which would be the month of March. Now, if you're coming straight from February's video, whew, you know I've been gone for a minute, but I'm back, okay? Now, I want to talk about saying February was a busy month for me. I was on vacation with the girls, the little girls trip, planning for April, coming back getting the swing of things, but I still was able to read 9 books in the month of March. Okay, so let's get into it because I'm gonna try to keep this under 30 minutes as well. Okay, so the first book I read, which was not on the TBR, before we do that, let's stop and let's remind the new people. Of course, every book that I talk about will be over here with the cover because what? If you like a book and it sounds good, I want to make sure that you can find the correct video. I'm sorry, the correct book because there's a lot of books with the same titles. So no confusion here. Okay? Now the first book, as I was saying, was not on my March TBR. I know we didn't get a March TBR book video. Oh my gosh, guys. Because I was busy. But I still write a TBR, so I know where I'm going. Okay. It was Fine Print, okay, by Lauren Asher. This one was the girls in my Discord. One of my girls, she was like, "Hey, we haven't buddy read in a while, and I'm reading this book, and you should read it too." Now, me and this one girl, we typically do random buddy reads. It'd be like a Sunday, girl, what you find? She's my library girly, so most books that we read are no, all books that we read are typically library. And if I can find it and she already has it, or if I have it and she can find it, we'll buddy read it together. And they're pretty short books. They're books we get done in like the same day. So Fine Print was one. I love this cover. I had been eyeing it, and I was like, sure, girl, why not? So Fine Print was the first thing I read. The best way to describe this without giving away the plot is a billionaire, which if you know me, you know a billionaire, a millionaire, a man with money that treats his woman what? Right? It's my cup of tea. Okay. But basically, his family owns a company. I would translate it as close to Disney. They do studios, amusement parks, um, just everything. It's Disney equivalent, but in this book, and it is a romance. Um, it is a workplace romance, boss employee, which is good. Um, it was really cute. It was a really cute story. It was he falls first. It was a grumpy sunshine. And she's like so it was really cute, really fast read. I think I did finish it in one day. I listened to it. And one thing I will say is Lauren Asher, she writes women of color in her stories. So the FMC is a woman of color, the guy is not, but you really can't tell. It's not that obvious, which is fine for me. I love when stories I can't tell. We don't talk about his blue eyes and blonde hair all the time, and he could be whatever I want him to be in my head. But it was a good story. It was cute. Now I think there is 3 books because there's 3 brothers, and I can basically tell you the setup for the series. 3 brothers, their grandfather dies, and for them to gain control of this company, they each have to do a specific task, something that their grandfather feels like they're missing in their lives. So they have to do a specific task to get their part of their inheritance. And so that's what that set up. Sorry guys, I got this blanket from Kimmy the Retired Reader on the Clock app, and it's like my favorite blanket that I have when I'm talking about books, when I'm on lives, whatever. So excuse my blanket. And so that's the setup for the series. They have to complete these tasks. So the first brother, he's completing his task. He comes across this young woman. their relationship. You should read it. It's great. I have not read the other two yet. They will come eventually, just not, at the top of the priority list. Now, the second book. In the month of March, I did a 6-hour readathon with my girl Lauren from Lauren's Book Thoughts on the Clock app. And we did a cover to cover readathon where we were attempting to start a book and finish a book in said hours. Now, did we pick small books? I thought we did, but I guess we didn't. But the book that I picked was The Weight of Us by Camille. Okay. Now, let's talk about this book real quick. Okay. I'm gonna lean in. I can read. I know the book says The Weight of Us, but I was not prepared for how heavy this book was. Okay. And when I say heavy, I mean heavy. Check your trigger warnings, okay? I picked this book because it's a book that, first of all, I love this cover. It's beautiful. I thought this was going to be something not cute, but like a little heavy, but not heavy. We have death. We have so many things. So many. Just check your trigger warnings. Now, did I finish this book on the live? No, I did not. I got pretty far. I think I did finish it same day. Ooh, that scared me. My door closed. I did finish it same day. Let me get some water. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I did finish it same day, and it was heavy. There was tears that I fall. Now I do crying and everything. Okay, so don't take that. But there are some things that do happen in this book that just it can affect some people. The story was good. I think I gave it a 4. Um, read the synopsis, check your trigger warnings for sure, and see if you like it. That's really what I can say, because just sitting here thinking about some of the things that happened at the beginning of the book. In the middle of the, like, I was on live reading and I was just like, whoa. There were some moments that made me laugh, not because they was funny, but like, WTF, like, what's happening? How did we get here? No, this didn't just happen. So I definitely had all the emotions reading this book. So I did not like it. It was just a lot more than what I was planning for in the moment. And because I had advertised that I was going to read this book on live, I pushed through when I should have stopped when I saw the trigger warnings, because I was not really in the mental space for that, but I read it. So that's really what I want you to take away from this book is check your trigger warnings, read the synopsis, and then proceed with caution. And come back and let me know if you liked it. The third book that I read was Mr. Smoke Dillinger. Let me see something. As I said previously, I love a single daddy, a stepdaddy. That's not my baby, but that's my baby. Okay, love those. Love those down. Will forever be sad. Like, and if you can afford the kids, okay. So Smoke is the third brother in the Dillinger. So we got Deuce, Maceo, Smoke. Now, I will be honest, Smoke is not his name, but that's what they call him. And they explain why in the book. Smoke is giving protector. Okay. Smoke is giving toucher, and Smoke is giving try me if you want to. Smoke is giving them my kids. They don't got no other daddy. Okay. And I loved it down. I think Smoke and Deuce may be tied. Smoke and Deuce just talks with a little bit more swag, a little bit more like, this is what it is. And Smoke is just like, come here. And I'm like, Which one? Okay. Love Smoke. Love Smoke. The girlie's been talking about Smoke. Now this not the same Demon's Dream Smoke. It's different Smoke. Okay. And let me tell you, I like Smoke from both. Okay. I like the smoke from both. So yeah, once again, read the series. It's great. Start with Deuce so you kind of know what's going on because there's going to be some partners introduced. If you just jump into Smoke, you're going to be like, who are these girls and why are they important? You're not going to know. But they're quick series. They're not long books. Like I said, I did the audio on all the Dillinger so far. So just read the series. Okay, the next book I did was Dear Debbie by Miss Frida McFadden. This was the book with my real life besties, the ones that I see outside. It was supposed to be done by the time we went on our trip because we road tripped it to New Orleans because your girl was reading all the other books. Did I finish it in time? No, I had an hour left. So the first hour of road trip, not even first hour, like first 30, 45 minutes, I finished Dear Debbie. This is like my first Frida McFadden book this year. I want to say like this last 8 months, probably. It was great discussion. Of course, you don't know what's happening until Frida wants you to know what's happening. We had a good little discussion while we were driving, like, girl, can you believe? And did you think? And da da da. Yeah, it was good. I mean, if you understand Frida has a formula and you're okay with the formula, she didn't disappoint. Dear Debbie was good. It wasn't predictable. You didn't really figure it out until she told you. And I'm smart, okay? I'm a smart cookie, okay? Read it. It's a good palate cleanser. If anything, it's a great palate cleanser. That was on audio. That is what we did. Like I said, I listened to the last 40, 30, 45 minutes of it. And I'm excited to see what else she has. Now, this next book, Royce by Connie Easton. Number one, Connie Easton is a list of authors that I want to read this year. So I started with Royce, one, because I like nice things. And this car, this Rolls Royce, get it? Rolls Royce was like, I gotta read it, okay? Let me tell you something. I don't know about you, but this man is on my list for unhinged men. Now, where he is, I don't know yet. I gotta go back. I gotta go meet Ocean, and I gotta meet Mason, and I might have to meet Ra before. But he's on the list, okay? Royce's own family said he is not used to the word no, and he doesn't know how to process the word no. What do you mean y'all raise a man who don't understand no? And when before I get started, not no like consent wise. I mean no as in no, I'm not interested in dating you. No, you can't come in my house. Like he don't understand that. He's like, you'll come around, okay? Um, Royce is in the streets. He in the streets. Royce gets caught up. He sees somebody from across the jail room and he goes, I want her and I got to have her. I don't care if she's 8 months pregnant. What's that? What? So he goes about it and he says some stuff. It do some stuff where I'm literally scratching my head like, huh? What? And then I'm like, maybe it's okay. Sometimes I think I'm the problem, but it's okay. I'm married. I'm locked down. I don't got to worry about none of this happening to me in real life. But he does some things. It's a good read. What I will say that kept this from me giving this a 5, and I remember this because I had a conversation with my book girls, was she agreed to some things real quick. We didn't really see her fight back on some of the crazy stuff he did. Like some of the crazy stuff he did. Like some of the stuff, okay, fine, he's helping. But some of the other stuff he did, we didn't really see her be like, no, I'm not putting up with that. She was just like, I don't like it, but okay. And I'm like, Hey, what you mean you don't like it, but okay. It couldn't be me, girl. Like, she didn't really like fight or have a backbone. That was the only thing. But him, great, fantastic, love the story. Now, there's also Genesis and Bentley. I don't know if I'm reading them. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I care enough because we technically weren't introduced to them in Royce. They were mentioned. We know how they're connected, but we weren't introduced to them. So there's not like a need to be like, oh yeah, I want to see what they about. Oh yeah, I want to see what they love like. Like what I don't know if I care enough, you know? So maybe for the buddy read, we'll see if I get to it. Take that information and do with it what you want. Okay. I'm gonna need some water for these last few. The next book I read was Mr. and Mrs. Taylor by Shay Sanders. Last summer fall transition time, I read Call Me Mrs. Taylor. I saw Sean on the Clock app. She was talking about books that she had bought, and I saw it, and it said an obsessive dark romance. Call Me Mrs. Taylor, and I was like, I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna read it. Um, and so I read it. That was my book of the year when people are like, what book should I read? And I'm like, do you want to be confused? Do you want to be appalled? Do you want to be rooting against the FMC in a romance? Then read this book. And people are like, huh? I'm like, no, that girl is bat shit out of her mind. And they're like, no. Like, I literally have a friend right now who is like, because I have one book friend who read it like this week, like just finished it, and another friend. And me and the girl talking about it, and I'm like, yeah, no, she out of it. And the other girl who hasn't read it, who's planning on reading it, I don't know when, but she's planning on reading it. It was like, I don't care, whatever she did, I'm on her side. And we were like, no. Mm-mm. And then I had G and Jordan read it because that's the book I recommend. Because it's not like any other romance I have ever read. So I need other people to read it. And they were like, Chelsea, why didn't you give us more information? I'm like, I can't give you more information without spoiling the book. But she does things that makes you wonder who else is doing things in the world. Like, she says inappropriate things to her students. She stalks people. She does all sorts of stuff that you'd be like, none of this is okay. So I read part 2 in the month of March. And baby, I did not know that that it could be pushed. The limit could be pushed. But it did. And the problem is he loves her cuckoo. And he just as cuckoo as her. She cuckoo, he loves her cuckoo, so then he acts more cuckoo, and then they do cuckoo stuff together. But then it's love that they say, it's a love for them. And then like you just be like, oh my god. Like it was yeah. It's a good read. It's an entertaining read. It is a romance. What kind of romance? I don't know. All I'm gonna say is she still called his family a pot of orcas as an insult. She calls her husband a pot of orcas. At one point, she pulls the group of guys, his friends, outside, and is like, "Look, you don't like me, and I don't like you, but I'm here to stay. Deal with it, ma'am." And that's the tamest thing that she did. The tamest thing that she did. Okay. Loved every second of it. I'm glad the series is over. But this is a must read. It is a must recommend for me. And yeah, great. So definitely read Call Me Mrs. Taylor and then Mr. and Mrs. Taylor and come back and let me know your feelings. Okay? And then the next 2 books I read in one weekend. because I was waiting for Rich and Rotten, which we will talk about. I had a Gargoyles weekend. So the first one I read was The Gargoyle I Curved by Miss Marcia Black. Okay. I was introduced to her last fall when she wrote The Vampire Who Tried It, which these titles are screaming yes, Chelsea. Yes. Okay. This was a novella, The Gargoyle I Curved, and I had a great time. Okay. We're talking about grown people. She is a doctor. She's went to school, finished her doctorate, works at a company. Um, Basically finds out she's working with a old college love. Um, and comes to find out they were separated because of miscommunication, because something came up, wasn't communicated appropriately to her, and they're finding their way back together while working together. It was a cute love story. If you didn't know, 2026 is the year for Black gargoyles. A lot of Black authors are writing them. I think I counted 6 that I know of, and I'm more than welcome to give you those if you would like them. But it was great. Loved it. I'm waiting for part 2 of The Vampire Tried It. So this was a good little Marcia Black book. This is only her second book published. So please go check out her catalog. Well, her 2 books and give it a try. And the next book I read was Boss by Miss Vera T. Brown. Which is this cover right here. Let me see something. You wouldn't know these were gargoyles sitting over here, would you? No, you wouldn't. But they are. Okay. 3 sisters. Queens. Love story. Vengeance. Bloody gory. I don't even know what I'll say, but it was great. It was my first Vera T. Brown book. I interacted a lot with her on the Clock app. Loved it. I'm waiting for so many more fantasy books that she has coming out this year. She has like 2 more I know of off the top of my head, and I enjoyed it. If you like a good revenge plot, if you like women in power, if you like good adult smut scene with gargoyles and vampires and what's that thing, a lizard? I don't know. You just gotta read the book. It was good. I read both gargoyle books in a weekend. I had a great time. They're both short. They're both novellas, so give them a try. Yeah, they were good. Then the last book I read this month is Rich and Rotten. I went to BNN and picked up my book on the 31st, came home, started my book. Actually, no, it came out before the 31st. I actually started it on the 30th because I got a notification that it was ready the day before. So I went the day before, picked it up, started it that Monday on live, read it, got some pages in, and finished it on the 31st. And let me just say, Miss Jackwell J has done it again. Okay. I thought this book was a standalone because it's listed as a standalone. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, in case you didn't know, the back of that book say to be continued. Okay? You're welcome. You're welcome. Because if I knew that it wasn't gonna be a standalone, I wouldn't have anticipated it. Yes, I would have. Yes, I would have. But I wouldn't have read it. But yeah, anyway. Rich and Riding is about Tiana. Tiana Rich and her life that her dad, Mr. Rich, forces her into. Okay, it's a arranged marriage, marriage of convenience. It's I'm really trying to figure out because the book is still kind of new, so I don't want to say too much because a lot of people are still waiting to read it. let's just say it's a lot of there's a lot of decisions that are made and consequences are showing themselves in this book. So like a lot of decisions are made off page or before the book starts, and we're seeing repercussions and consequences to those actions in the books, which um turns a lot of people's lives upside down. Now in Jackwell, Miss Jackwell, because that's Miss Arthur Lady, and the way she writes, she gives us a lot of characters with a lot of their own storylines that interconnect. Um, but of course, as always, she shows how one domino affects the rest of the dominoes. And it was a good read. It was a good break from the Del Inferno Caselli universe, which who needs a break? I live there. Um, but it was good. It was great. I liked it. I'll be looking for part two. I don't know what it's called. I don't know when it's coming out. We don't got no information. So you just gotta let it rock. But it was great. Me and the girls' mouth was on the floor. The last sentence, you're like, what? What does this mean? What are you telling me? I know that's not what you're telling me. That's nasty. That can't be. You go through all the emotions. I will say that this book, Richard Rider, is at the library. Most libraries have the audio because the audio came out the same day as the book. Have the audio. Excuse me, guys, in the ebook to borrow, and it's also on KU. Now, before I let you go, because that is what I've been reading for the last 2 months, I'm going to go ahead and remind you all of the books that I have said today for February and March in part one and this part two work can all be found on Kindle Unlimited or at the library, depending on what your library's catalog, but definitely on Kindle Unlimited. And let me know if you've read any books from part one or part two, what your thoughts are, anything that stood out. And don't forget to follow me on TikTok and Instagram, and of course here, because the next video is what I'm reading in April. So come on back. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Bye, guys.